Welcome back to the part 3 of Chat with Your Own Data app we built with Langchain and Streamlit. In this one, I'm going to show you a few things we've added as we keep iterating the app. If you watch my last video, there's a bit of change since then. You see we've added a prompt, so when you use the app, you just provide your own free OpenAI key. We now support multiple files. I also added image files using a Salesforce model. We've added a YouTube support, so you can summarize, say, an earnings call, and you can ask questions. Lastly, a bit of cosmetic changes. I've added expander here to show you a version history I've updated using GitHub. So if you are interested, keep watching and I'll show you what we've done with the code. There will be a link in the description below to my repo. So if you are interested, you can just fork it, use it. As you can see, I've added a file here called version history. Basically just markdown file with bit of descriptions of each version changes. And I made a function call in the main Python app right here. Okay, so just keep it a bit clean instead of having everything in the main app. So let's have a look at the app. And also I've updated a couple more packages under the requirements.txt. You can make sure you update that too. Now, looking at the code, it is a little bit more, I wouldn't say complicated, but it's just a bit longer than it originally was because a bit of changes. Now, the main logic has not changed, so it's still pretty simple. Now I'm gonna start from bottom to the top. Just a quick refresh on what we've done. So this is the main ChatGPT code, which is pretty much the same. You can get it from the Streamlit website from the example. These are pretty much the same, and we are still using the Langchain with the conversation retrieval chain. These hadn't changed since last video. What I have actually changed is the data ingestions. So all these embeddings, these chunk splits, I haven't changed much. I've used a different splitter just based on a recommendation from Langchain's documentation. Compared to my previous character splitter, it's not much really difference. So don't worry about that. What I really want to show you is now I offer different choices for the input. So from here, we can say we have two choices. One is uploading files and one is YouTube URL, which corresponding to our app. So you can upload files here by browsing files, and you can also provide a URL. So this is what the if statement is. Now let's do the URL for the YouTube first. So basically, one of the reasons I changed the splitter is there was an example on Langchain with the YouTube, and it was recommending to recursive characters text splitter. I don't really know what's the difference, but that's what I'm using now. And this is a pretty much a Whisper API call. So let me show you where the code is. So the Whisper model is another product from OpenAI, and basically it's a transcription and translation model. It's very easy to use. Currently has a limit of 25 meg. So when you test the app and putting a longer form of video, be careful, it might exceed this size and stop working. right? I've tested up to 1-2 hours. So far is okay. There is different section telling you how to do a handle with longer output with PyDub. I did not do that in the code, so just keep it simple. So if you're interested, this is the way you need to go. Back to the code is super simple. Basically, you just need to call this using Whisper 1 model, and it will be outputted to this transcript. The only catch is to be able to do that, you need to be able to have the audio file saved. So looking back at our code, all these top bits, this is what that is, right? So basically, we're taking the URL, we figure out the stream, that's audio. So YouTube is a video file, and we're only interested in the audio stream. So only audio is true, and we'll strip off the first audio. So when you do that, there's actually a lot of different quality of the audios when you're stripping off from a YouTube video. As you must tell, when you watch a YouTube video, you can have different quality settings. And in fact, there is different quality for the audio as well. Taking the first one is pretty much the most basic audio, which gives us smallest file, probably lowest quality, but it's good enough to do the Whisper transcription in our case. So what you all see here up to this is just to getting the files out and saved as a file name, which I call YouTube audio.mp4. It's the same name, which means every time you do it, you can only do one at a time, and it will be always saved as this file. And once this file is saved, we can use this command to do transcription, and it gets saved to this variable. Same as the other files, like you saw in the previous video, it's gonna be chunked and also be added, turned to embeddings and saved in the vector store. Same as the PDFs. The only difference is because the format of the audio output, we need to turn into a Langchain object which can be used by the rest of the code. So this is pretty much just using, you can see we're taking the transcription as page content and adding metadata and create a new document object. And we are appending it to the same document variables, which we initialize at the very top. And that just falls back aligned with the other data input, say when we upload a PDF files. Okay, so this is the YouTube code, very simple. And let's test it out. So when you run the code for the very first time, this is what you see. It won't proceed to the rest of the code until you provide an API key. So this is my OpenAI API key. I'm just going to hit enter here. Now we're going to provide a URL. So I'm going to copy this URL, Elon's talk on the All-in Summit. Let's go to our code and just put that in. So that's about 40-50 minutes. We'll hit enter and wait for it to be transcribed, and we can ask questions. Now while we're waiting, I just want to show you one more thing in our code that you might notice I have done OpenAI key again here. Okay, we actually already had OpenAI key at the very beginning of the code as environment variable, as you can see here, and I've been using that file with the ChatGPT API endpoint, which is that. So I don't know why it doesn't work. Seems like the Whisper does not recognize this environment variable version of the API, OpenAI API key. It keeps giving me error that API not found. So I had to reinitialize it within this Whisper part of the code. So just FYI, if you know why that is not being shared, not accessible within the Whisper part of the code, please let me know. Okay, now you can see this chat window has appeared. That means the data has been ingested correctly, and we're ready to ask questions about it. So let's say TL this talk. Just keep it very simple, see what actually comes out with. Alright, the participants discuss the topics about self-driving platform, Tesla, alright, AI, alright. Okay. Let's see what else can knows. New James Bond novel being worked. Okay, name all the speakers it mentioned. Mentioning the conversation is Ray Dalio or Elon Musk. Got most right. Let's say, can you summarize the main point? Let's talk into bullet points. I like to do bullet points, but it doesn't always do it. So here you go. This is transcribing a YouTube video, and let's say if you put NVIDIA's earnings call in, you can ask questions. How many times it mentioned, let's try that. How many times it mentioned AI? Okay, so next thing, that's great. Okay, so the next part of the code is the other if statement for the image. Okay, so if you look at the structure of the code, we check whether if there's a file uploaded, we'll do all that, and if it's not file, if it's URL, we'll do all that for the YouTube. So within the upload files, so if someone upload files, these all remain the same. You go through the loop because it supports multiple files. We're just gonna join them and open them. Previously, we only had this part, that if the file has the following extensions, PDF, docs, and text, we're using the unstructured file loader, and eventually we will add it to the documents variable, which has been initialized at the top. Now, what's new is now I've added another if here. So if the file is PNG or JPEG, we're going to use a different model. This one is called Image Caption Loader. And what we're going to do is we're going to load that, and eventually it's going to add it to the same documents variables. Now, let's have a quick look. What did we use here? We are still using a Langchain tool because Langchain just makes everything super easy. So nothing fancy here, nothing complicated, as always, super easy. Now, I had actually done both of them, images and image captions. What's the difference? Images is actually an OCR tool. It recognizes the text in the images. So it's using a also unstructured image loader, and I've done this first. And I got confused. I didn't know what that is because that was not what I want. I did not want OCR. And then I've tried image caption. So basically, it just tells you what image is. Right? You upload image and tells you what it is. So that is what I want to build into the app. And the Langchain uses this image caption loader. Behind that is actually a Salesforce model. Okay, so code is super simple. It's really easy to use. We are not using a URL. We're actually directly letting user to upload via the Streamlit widget, and the rest is pretty much the same. You just load it, and we'll pass it to the same document variable, and eventually it will be turned to the index like the rest of the data. Okay, so let's have a look at what this model is. So if we go to Hugging Face, these are all the trending image to text models, and I just saw them by the most downloads. All right, so let's do a bit of test. So this base is the one that Langchain is using. So we are using the flip image caption model. If you click on that, it is this base model. So let's compare actually these models, like what do they do? So I've downloaded image, save on desktop, and see what the model will tell you. Okay. It usually doesn't take that long. So what you can do with Hugging Face is it has all the models published, and you can just try it out on the website. It's super easy. Now the result is a man in a suit and a tie talking to reporters. Okay, it's pretty good, but it's not good enough. I think I want it able to tell me it's Elon Musk if he's a famous person, but I'm not sure whether the model is not able to do that or because of other reasons, copyright, privacy, whatever. So this is the Salesforce base model. If we go back to this page, let's try this Salesforce large model. So we'll do the same image, see what it does. And while we're waiting, we can also open the other model. Let's just go to image to text. Let's open this Microsoft model as well. So we sort them by most downloaded and do the Microsoft as well. So back to this one, still loading. Jeez. Let's try the Microsoft model. Okay, this one looks like OCR. It's not even. Is this OCR? OCR. This. Okay, so this is OCR model handwritten. We don't want to do that. What about this Microsoft model? We'll do this. So this is a image to text transform, a generative image to text. What does that mean? We don't know. Okay, it's taking a lot of time, given now it's almost daytime for US and nighttime for where I am. Okay, so this one basically didn't work on the large. And if we try this most downloaded model, this NLP Connect, let's try that. See where we get a different result. Oh, that was quick. A man in suit talking to a woman. So pretty much the same. So they all do the same. They don't tell you exactly who's in the photo. They also don't tell you much. It's just very short description. So maybe this is what this type of model does. Just a caption. Look, this is a Microsoft model. What did I say? Unused at an event for Tesla. Unused. These almost look like something got replaced due to privacy reason, but not very good. So I think we'll stick with our Salesforce model. So switch back to the code. The image model, there is actually nothing to talk about. It's same logic as the normal files. It's just an if statement to select whether it's a JPEG image file, they will do that. If it's not PDF, we do that. Switch back to the code. Let's try, let's delete that. We'll clear the cache. What we're gonna do is we're gonna upload our photos. I have refreshed the browser and let's try an image file. Okay, let's just try my YouTube header. Okay, let it run. See how long that's gonna take. There we go. It's finished already. You know it's only gonna be captions, so it won't be much. Let's say, what is this image about? It's a woman wearing futuristic suit. That's exactly what it is. What can we do more with this feature? I actually don't know. I actually really don't know. This is quite useless. If as the chat with the own data app, this image thing is it's pretty much useless. Maybe the OCR is more useful in this case. Write a sum based on this image. Can you do it? Probably can. It's OpenAI, it does everything. It cannot. Based. Can you write a poem based on this image? You did it last time for me. Please. Please don't be shy. Okay. In a world of steel and a gleaming light, a woman stands, her presence bright. Okay, you get the idea. Lastly, just a quick demo of the multiple file support. Let's try that. Make sure you always clear cache if you're switching data sources. Go browse. We will do, how about we do Apple and Google. Both are 10Q file. So let's see how good this model is to analyze these data based on these two companies. Oh, that didn't take too long. Okay. Let's say, what data were you provided? Start with the easy one. I found with these models that sometimes you really need to be specific of your questions. If you be blur like I just did, you get blur, very blur information. Can you compare Apple and Google in terms of their financials? How about that? That shouldn't take too long. Okay, so it does give us a pretty good summary. And let's try something else. Can you compare them in a chart with key financial numbers? So it does give a general comparison in this paragraph. Let's direct the model to do, oh, okay. So Apple and Alphabet in different numbers, and you actually see it got it wrong because this clearly the same figure from one of the documents, not the others. Okay, so I don't actually know what's gone wrong and need to work it out why it's doing that. Let's try something else to make sure this data ingestion actually works. So let's ask a question about Microsoft. What about Microsoft? Okay, we did not provide any context for Microsoft. That's good. And now let's add a file of Microsoft. Now, it might not work because I might have to rerun it. Looks like it didn't run. So if I do that, it won't actually. So let's clear the hash and rerun it. So as you can see here, we re-ingested all three files together, 2 PDF for Google and Apple, and 1 Microsoft in doc. So let's say, can you compare the financials of Google, Apple, and Microsoft? Now the Microsoft file is actually a product list. It's not a financial, so it's probably gonna tell me don't have the financial information. But it does for the Google. So if we rephrase our question, Google and Apple, what would it do? It's clear it's 10Q. What information do you have? Look at that. It clearly has 10K informations. Right, and 10Q. Name the most popular Microsoft products. And these are mentioned in this Microsoft document. So as you can see, data is there. I don't know how to improve my RAG results. As you can see, all these are mentioned in the Microsoft document. So I'm using the conversational retrieval chain from the Langchain. As you see from the code, it's very, like, you don't have to do anything to make it work. But clearly there's a problem with it, and we need to fine tune it. But I actually don't know how to fine tune that. And yeah, that's all I want to show you today. Thanks for watching this video. In this video, we have showed you how we added more data ingestion options for the users. We provided a URL input for YouTube, and we also provided input for image files. Now we also encountered some problems of how the RAG retrieval is not really working 100%. Sometimes it gets confused what data was provided and cannot give you the best answers. So I don't know how to fix that. That's all we do is calling the QA chain. So there could be tweak done via different. Maybe we can try GPT-4, or maybe we can try different token split size to make the files more relevant. So please let me know how you go about with this kind of problems. If you work out something better, leave a comment, and let's all learn and grow together. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.